Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Roll20 Presents Descent into Avernus. Travel across Avernus? Shenanigans on Avernus? Is it? You're not in.
They're still further down. Like Avernus is not, paper
right.
thin.
Right. So, how deep is, if you went into a cave in Avernus, how far would you have to go down? Are the hells literally stacked, or are they like overlapping in a more metaphorical sense?
Yeah.
So
important questions.
Hell-wise,
yeah,
it is a layer. They are literally like stacked.
Physically, like if you dug a hole through the surface.
If you dug a gigantic hole through the surface of Avernus, you would hit the next one down.
That's pretty cool.
Did they have like a layer of bedrock in Minecraft though, so you can't go straight from the underworld to the nether?
No, yeah, exactly. You can't.
So if you dig down far enough in Avernus and you break through that crust, do you then fall to the surface of the next one?
Assumedly, yes.
Do they all have atmosphere? Like they're like cakes? So it's got like cloud layer, atmosphere, surface, sub-layer, bottom layer, and then below there's another layer of atmosphere, or...
Oh, there are clouds here, aren't there?
There's nothing above Avernus, though.
Listen,
like if you got on a spaceship and you flew up in the...
I know how it works technically, but not that technically, okay?
Hell is a wedding cake.
No, nobody goes, you know what we're going to do for our camp? Well, actually, people probably do.
Come on, yeah, of course people do.
I mean, if hell is a wedding cake... That's literally how D&D
characters work.
If hell is a wedding cake, then typically with wedding cakes, if you have several separate layers, you have to put like a platform in between, and sometimes stab supports through the previous layer in order to hold up the weight of the layers to come. So if hell is a wedding cake, then there's like pillars supporting each other layer.
I like it.
Yeah.
I just imagined like a really big person-sized cake, and then Zariel just like pops out. It's like,
happy birthday,
by the
Mr.
way.
President.
So
happy
relevant.
Birthday. More like happy birthday, Asmodeus.
Yeah, he's the Mr. President. All right, so that's canon now. If you ever meet Asmodeus, he talks like JFK, and Zariel is played by Marilyn Monroe. Done.
Yeah.
Sold. You do not approve of your behavior in hell. What are you doing here?
Could you sign this contract? Are we sure not Mayor Quimby instead?
But Mayor Quimby is just JFK.
I know,
right?
but
So
it's like...
Yeah, it's perfect.
I was really trying for a good transition into saying
No, it's fine. I don't
Lauren,
need
but I get that you guys don't care about Lauren at all, and don't care that it's her birthday, and don't want to celebrate Lauren's birthday.
I
'cause she's old now.
already got Lauren a present, and it's the promise of free plate mail. All right, that's the present that you get.
Free, you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's free in the sense that you don't have to pay for it. But yeah, Mad Maggie will make you a sick outfit. You got to earn it first. There's one more.
Just try and swing.
No, there's one more.
But
No, you're good. There's one more thing.
It.
There's one more thing for us to do, and we'll do that first. And then when you leave Mad Maggie's, barring, and I guess I should say this, barring any total and complete fuck up or PC style behavior, you'll get away for free, and everybody will give you, and she'll give you stuff.
Okay,
but
can you
your
define
PCs, so
PC style behavior.
Yeah, like when player characters in a role playing game take a completely stable, easy to manipulate situation, and then they introduce total fucking chaos to it, and it ends up in a completely different place than you expected.
What you're saying is I shouldn't cut the heads off some random people.
That was good.
In that case, that was good.
Yes.
Yes.
Wanted you to
That
do.
was what we wanted.
So we've got to be really
for.
chill and not do anything because we're in hell. We got to like stay super stable and like lawful. You gotta look both ways.
Don't be player characters. Just think what would my character do,
would an NPC
and then don't do
do?
that. Exactly. Just repeat the same voice lines a few times, and then you're good to go.
Welcome to Conaria.
I'm just gonna doff and don armor over and over again.
Yeah. That's actually the rest of the campaign. Is you just set up a shop in Mad Maggie's junkyard,
Got
and you
it.
just become.
If there were a
NPC.
mechanism behind that, I would entirely become Hell Scrapyard.
You wanted to do that with the bar, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and then we never did anything with it.
Well, because the
so
adventure
sad.
Dragon. So what we're talking about here is Dragon Heist. You get a tavern during Dragon Heist, and you have the ability to like run it, but
the adventure doesn't care.
I mean, the adventure doesn't care because what are you going to do with gold in D&D? Like, have a lot of it, I guess.
Make my tavern even better to generate more gold, Adam.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
You've come to the hook there. That's how it works. The only thing money is good for is making more money
And just
after
be
a
the
certain point.
Jeff
Yeah, and then
Bezos of
once-
Dragon Heights.
And then once you get to the top of that money pile, Adam, what you do is you have a wizard turn you into a dragon,
Yeah, you're
and
good
then
to go.
you sleep on it, and then that's its purpose. You're
That's
good.
right. Billionaires and dragons are like the exact same species, I think.
I
think they're
not
just-
playing Shadowrun right now.
Danger, how on the nose is that, right? Like
So on
that,
the
like
All the CEOs of these companies, literal dragons.
yeah, insane dragons. They're incredibly dangerous to have around, prone to massive destruction if you bother them, and otherwise they just want to take all the gold out of the economy and sleep on it. So yeah, seems about right to me.
The difference is dragons are cool.
Oh, so Mads pointed out in chat, that's it, we've figured it out. The point is not to go into dungeons and encounter dragons. It is to go into dungeons and make enough money that you become dragons.
Sounds good to me.
I see.
I did have a question that I wanted to submit to all of you and also the audience, because my intention with November's name was to keep adding addendums to the end of it. And I feel like after 7 levels, there's got to be something more than just one with the ephemeral everything. So like, I was thinking like maybe she who drags you back from death, or like other cool things. Like, what have I done?
She who has been stabbed by cultists.
That's not cool enough.
Mistress
She
of
who
the
sweats in
mistress of the
hell.
magical weasel.
No.
She who bleeds on floors.
No.
Mhm,
I want a
She
cool
who is
one.
not a demon.
Mistress of rubber banding. Snowball's Chance in Hell. might
Snowball's
be a
Chance
good-
in Hell. There we go. There
Good
we
one.
go.
Actually, Snowball's Chance in Hell is a great tiefling name. You can have that, chat. That
Okay,
one's for
thank you.
It's all
She
A.
whose goats slay devils. That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you, chat.
I feel
I'm-
like chat is being far more helpful than any of us.
Yeah,
I
We're
assumed
just
that
being
chat would be
dicks.
because you're all pieces of shit.
Yeah,
I
Amber.
really thought you were gonna say because you're all PCs, just to bring it full circle.
No.
Amber in chat made the exact same mistake that I made. I was about to say she who got shot that one time, but that wasn't.
that
That was
November.
Makaria.
That was Makaria. She
Makaria was the one that got
would
shot that
never
one
let
time.
you forget that.
I've been shot.
Yep.
Ooh, she who brings the hooves. I like it. I like it. Thank you, chat. I'm gonna write some of these down.
Yeah.
If there's
epi-
anybody you can
episodes are
rely
fun.
on. If
I
there's
just like
anybody
the
you can rely
idea
on
of
for
that being like a cultural signifier, is you could just take names over and over again.
Totally.
Yeah, I dig it. Cool.
Sounds good to me.
Well, I do want to get started. I want to get this post-apocalypse show on the road. But Elf, before we do, I know there's an ongoing story, and chat needs to know how's Neverwinter going.
Oh, okay. What did I say last time?
I
I
You're gonna
mentioned-
take someone's soul out.
there was
I
some
feel
soul
like that you were
stuff.
preparing for the ritual, and then you live tweeted that, and that was a riot.
Okay, so I didn't actually talk about what happened.
Yeah.
So
No, I don't think so.
Long story short, it was fucking awesome, and I set up a cool pentagram, and we had a DM like watching us while we were doing it. So as I described stuff would appear. It'd be like, oh,
Nice.
cool.
That's cool.
I draw a pentagram on the floor, and a pentagram appears on the floor underneath the characters. And we spread blood along the corners of each of the things. Blood appears on the corners. It's super awesome. But basically what happened was shadows kept encroaching on it the further we went on and on. Like, it got darker and darker. And then eventually we got to the point where it was time to use the super necromantic dagger to pull Sori's soul out. Sori being the character who was like my subject. Sori's soul out. And when I touched it to her chest, we were both catapulted into the abyss, which is just darkness. It's just darkness.
That's what they teach kids in conservative high schools. Do not touch each other, or you'll go straight to hell immediately.
But
Just
so it
don't do
wasn't. It wasn't the abyss like the abyss, but it was.
It was an
darkness.
abyss, but
It
not
was just
the
dark.
abyss.
It was just darkness, right?
It was a large room.
And
You
I-
could tell it wasn't the
Large
abyss
room.
because it didn't have a
And I
trademark
was
after the name.
in
of it.
real time, falling through darkness with no recourse for 45 minutes because like other stuff is happening, and the DM's like, having to deal with whatever is going on outside at this point, and the bodies and the whatever, that kind of stuff. But I'm just like falling through the abyss. Sori's soul has been trapped in a ruby prison, which is the ruby on the end of the gem.
Yeah.
And her character is in that. And there's like shit happening on the outside with like shadow creatures attacking the people who are in attendance, and they have to fight them off and stuff. It turns out later that what happened was I was completely disintegrated other than my hand that was holding the dagger when I tried to channel the negative energy through it to pull her soul out. But I succeeded because the soul ended up in the dagger. I just died. So
I like that you can tell a story in which you died, but you're like, but it was successful.
I call it a win.
Yeah.
I didn't die forever. They brought me back. It's fine.
Yes, still counts.
And I had to make a dark powers check, which is an old ass mechanic.
Oh yeah. I haven't heard those words strung together in a long
Ravenloft,
time.
I had to make a dark powers check for doing something evil enough that the ephemeral dark power of Ravenloft paid attention to it. I think I succeeded the check, which means that they noticed, but they didn't do anything.
Right.
That feels like failing.
It does, because I wanted to like sprout horns or, like become super smart or whatever, which is what stuff happens to you as you fail them. But also your character becomes much more difficult to play.
Yes.
So,
fair.
It was cool. It was really, really cool. And now I'm doing research on the Shadowfell. And you know what's really annoying? Just going to call out just D&D in general here. Not hugely, but just generally. The planes are inconsistent throughout everything that D&D has to offer. I cannot get a solid answer for fuck.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's actually a really good segue into the other thing I wanted to ask about. Speaking of inconsistent lore, Lauren's playing Magic now. How's that going? Because I'm having your same problem in GMing Jace Beleren Must Die. I am like, where is this person supposed to be? What is this guy like? And it's just across the board, like totally inconsistent.
Oh, that's what happens when you have 20,000 cards in a game that's supposed to all be thematically connected to each other.
Yeah, but how's it going? Are you enjoying it? I think Magic the Gathering is maybe the best designed game like ever in the history of games because of that size, but it's hyper complex.
So I blame Steph because she was like, okay, watch these YouTube videos with me. And I was like, this is fun. These people look like they're having fun. Maybe I can have fun too. Yeah. And then I realized why people like streamers. And YouTubers, because we make other people think we're having fun. Like, shit, they got me. They got me.
And that's the thing I think people miss, right? Is that just because we do it for a living doesn't mean we're not susceptible to it. I have had all of you at least once convince me to buy a game by playing it on stream. Like it just happens where I'm like, this looks like fun. I'm gonna play this.
Yeah,
like, that's why we do that.
So I got Soup's influenced, and then I downloaded MTG Arena, and then I played it for like 6 hours on Saturday.
Nice.
What if
I am now an MTG streamer? That's just how it's gonna be. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's fun. I really like streaming it. I think Magic is fun to play. Yeah, I was
very nervous because I didn't think I was one of those things where I always thought I wasn't smart enough for it or like I couldn't figure it out. But it's not like you can. And chat has also been very everyone who has come into my chat has been very supportive and no one's like, oh my God, I can't believe you didn't like that play. It's just like, oh, I made the mistake of playing one of the decks because they have the event where you can play the championship decks. And I picked one. I was like, that one has a cat in it. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I failed miserably multiple times, but I learned a lot.
Yeah, the Magic Arena client is way better at teaching Magic than like some random guy at a game store. Like it's much easier to figure out than like, oh, I forgot this rule. So this is how this works. Well, except on this card. And so,
Yeah, I would say that when I played Magic, one of the ways that I learned the most was from being beaten by other people with other decks and being like, oh, so that's what that does. Yeah. And then like learning the way that other people are using Magic because it's not as negative in my mind as like being at a table with a person and having them like stomp you and then cheer, it can be a lot more positive when it's like chat being like, oh yeah, like that's something that people do and you're like, oh okay, well now I know this thing and now
that's
my chat just makes fun of me. They're like, you forgot to tap that energy, what the hell?
My chat made fun of me until I beat Ben S in Limited, and then they stopped making fun of me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Elf, it's your fault that I started playing Magic again because you were playing Arena, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing, and then I started playing it, and now I play Magic again. So.
You're welcome. That wasn't my intention.
We all do it. We all do it to ourselves.
I don't even play it really anymore.
Yeah, but also you tend to jump around in games a lot, right?
That's
like
true. If
you tune into your stream one day, it'll be a completely different game, 2 days later, and then you'll jump back. So
you know why I do that?
So
because I'm desperately trying to find something that people give a shit about.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, people do care about us playing Dungeons and Dragons, so maybe we should do that. Do we want to try to finish this section of the adventure? All right.
I want playmail. It's my birthday.
I want level 8.
It is your birthday. So I don't know. Let's see if you can get yourself some plate mail. So the last thing we saw was everybody settling down to have a nice rest in Mickey's garage, Gollum hole. Wherever he lives.
His little shed.
Yeah, so he made you some bunk beds out of random hell metal, and you have rested there, and everybody's got all their hit points back, all their abilities, and what have you. And it's not the next morning, but later at the end of your long rest. Maggie comes to gather everyone. It was a bad luck day, a 9 and a 2. So Maggie comes to gather everybody for a ritual that she has prepared. So as she promised to Lulu, and because she likes all of you so much because you've been so helpful, she has prepared a space. And I think that's, rather than be like she comes and tells you what you're gonna do and then you walk across the thing and there's some other shit, let's just skip all that. We just come in on Maggie's inner sanctum. She's got this building that she uses to perform rituals. And so we fade in on the group of you entering this ritual space. Maggie has laid out it's sort of the inside of on the outside, it's a tin shack, basically. But on the inside, the windows have been blocked out. There is a fiendish circle etched upon the floor. And in the center, a pile of black cushions. So as you all come in, she says to Lulu, all right, dear, you're the center of this whole thing. So she points at the pillows. Get comfortable.
Yes, the center of the ritual. Never a bad place to be.
Exactly, yeah. That's all right. She's just going to end up stuck in a ruby. And so she kind of looks at... I think she looks at November, like Lulu does. Looks at you like, is this safe? Should I do this? Lulu kind of gives you a
she
face
doesn't
like,
trust me anymore.
yeah, you got hurt by the sparkle blast. So she kind of like,
November's neutral too, right?
Yes, but she doesn't know that.
she doesn't know that.
Sathra's in the background just nodding like, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
So this is there's a spell circle, and Maggie's telling Lulu to.
Yeah, Maggie's like, come on, come in here, sit down on the pillow. You are the beginning of this. You're the center of this ritual. So get
and
comfortable.
Lulu looks at November, and November says, "I know you can't remember, but you were here before, and she didn't harm you, at least not permanently. So I think it's probably all right."
Well, if you say so. And she flutters over on golden wings, leaving a trail of sparkles behind. Your hag friend Maggie curls up her nose at the disgusting sparkles as Lulu gets into the pile of pillows like a puppy trying to find somewhere to rest, and then immediately just falls asleep and snoring quietly. Maggie looks at you, Sathra. And then so she looks at you, and as she's saying this, she looks over to a black wooden lacquered box, and she says, "Sathra, dear, give me a hand with these."
Of course. Walk over and
okay,
whatever she's directing me to do.
So she reaches into one of her many pouches. She got utility belts and stuff because she's a mechanic witch. She reaches into one of the pouches and draws out a metal key, which she uses to open the box. Inside the box, invisible only immediately to Sathra, right? We see this from Sathra's perspective, are two what appear to be human skulls. They're sitting in this box. And Maggie says to you, quietly enough that only you can hear this, Sathra, she says, I'm sure my sisters won't mind if we pick their brains a bit. Now, come on. And she picks one up carefully and delicately in both hands, expecting you to take the other.
To take the other, yeah.
Yeah.
I lean down and like gently lift this skull from the box.
Touching it gives you a vague like tingling sensation first in your hands and then kind of washing over you. It passes quickly, and you think that you hear vague whispering as you pick up the skull.
All of this is to be expected.
Yeah, right. It doesn't. I don't think it surprises you at all.
No.
You sure you don't want an actual expert? Like, she just made a deal. I actually know how magic works. No, it's fine. Just do your whatever. I don't care. I don't want to be part of it anyway.
Yeah. So she looks over as you say that, Sosrovo, and just sort of clucks her tongue like a grandma. Like,
all right, grandma. Fine. Play with weird skulls.
Fine, grandma. Play with your weird skulls. If I had $1 for every time I had to say that. So Maggie takes the skull in her hands. Now everyone can see that Sathra and Maggie both have one. And she instructs you to place it within the circle, right? So she sets it down.
Yep.
And then she gestures to the circle and says, all right, everyone, step inside. Gestures for you to.
So I do.
Mm-hmm.
Bryn just sort of, shrugs and goes in. She's
Can I make an insight check?
Yeah.
Because I said it was okay to Lulu, but I just want to. I just want to make sure.
Do you think this is safe? Oh, yes. Yeah, go ahead.
It's okay to lie to the golden elephant.
Well,
but
now
my
that
own-
the elephant's asleep, she's not gonna know that you didn't do this inside check earlier.
Lulu just rolls around in her sleep muttering something about betrayal.
It's fine.
Mhm,
Okay. I get a 20.
Maggie this doesn't seem like a trap. She's not just
Okay.
like, yes, closer towards the kill zone, please.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So you step into the circle.
The
Everybody
Yes.
everybody does. Cool, you're all dead. Thanks for coming. Good adventure.
Yeah, fuck you.
So once you step into it, Maggie rubs her hands together. I think she goes so far because again, she's like halfway like race car mechanic from the 50s and halfway like old witch lady from D&D. So I think she spits into both hands, rubs her hands together, and starts to chant. And as she does, magical lights, glowing red lights, pop into life all around the outside of the circle and begin to glow, casting the inside of the room in a blood-colored haze. And as she begins the chanting, you all start to feel at first a tingling sensation, now familiar to you, Sathra, and then to everyone else, you feel this tingling sensation sweep over you, and then the room starts to fade, both Maggie and the space, but within the circle that stays. You start to feel maybe like. I think it would be confusing because you would hear each other's voices, but when you look, no one is saying anything. And so you start to hear kind of the overlay of everyone's surface thoughts kind of weaving together into one confusing cacophony. This would be intentionally presented as you can't pick out words from it.
There's a lot of confusing
Okay.
echoing.
Yeah. So Sorovo, this is familiar to you, right? Like this is like the very beginnings of a detect thoughts spell feel kind of like this, where you're starting to feel your own thoughts and other people's overlap, but it's happening with everyone, including Maggie and Lulu.
Yep.
And as you realize that your mind is connected to Lulu's mind, vibrant rainbows begin to swirl up from Lulu. And I'm gonna make an anachronistic analogy here, but I think it'll help you get an idea of the scene. So you know that episode of The Simpsons, and maybe you don't, maybe you do, but for those of you who do, this will help. That episode of The Simpsons where there are a bunch of Germans come and they buy the power plant, and at one point, Horst says to Homer, "We understand we're from the land of chocolate." And then there's a whole sequence after that where Homer imagines the land of chocolate.
Land of chocolate, yeah.
It's like that. So in the background, there's like da, 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 like happy music playing. And as the rich, radiant light of 100 dancing rainbows slowly dissolves, warm sunlight fills the area. Within that space, you see Lulu flying lazily in a lush meadow at the shoulder of a beautiful blindfolded angel, now played by Marilyn Monroe. As the pair strolls through the tall green grass, the voice of Maggie fills your mind. Push through all this nonsense. It only represents what your little friend wishes was true. We need to see more. Focus. And I need everyone to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh, cool.
Everyone does get +3 to this because I assume we're all in a small enough space.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I get a 10, but it's a crit fail.
Very nice. Okay.
I get a 15, despite the fact that my +3 becomes a 2 because I have -1 intelligence.
That's technically an 11. I'm just throwing that out there.
This is magic, isn't it? So I do have advantage. I'm a Zwerf Nebulin. And it's an intelligence saving throw to do with magic.
You have advantage on saving throws against what?
Wait a second. Do I also have advantage? I have magic resistance.
I have advantage on all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws against magic.
It's not against it. Is it?
Right. Like the Southwest broad spectrum. It's a saving throw to overcome Lulu's overwhelming enthusiasm. I don't think the magic puts you in a position to make the save, but you're not resisting any magical effect. This is just like, Lulu, stop dreaming about perfect meadows and sunshine and lollipops. Yeah.
So I got a 10 on my save, and then I rolled and I got a 10 too. So.
Okay. So we have a 7, an 8, a 15.
The 8 is an 11. Actually.
The 8 is 11. Okay. All right. So only November failed. So November, so everybody concentrates, right? And so we see the rainbows start to fade. We can see hell's landscape start to bleed through this. And Lulu looks around and says, "Oh no, this isn't right at all." And she concentrates real hard, and waves of positivity just like flood off of her, dealing psychic damage to November. So November, you take 7 psychic damage, and everybody needs to make the save again. As Lulu's like, so what we see here is November, you're primarily affected by it, and your normal, like your weapons. So you've got what do you have, a quarterstaff?
Yeah, I have a scimitar. And
but you don't wave your scimitar around. You would be holding your sword.
No, I never use my scimitar.
So the quarterstaff turns into an enormous bouquet of flowers. Your armor turns into a tutu. And do you have a shield?
No.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you're suddenly wearing like a pink tutu and a flower crown and holding a bouquet. And it deals you 7 psychic damage to have your will overwhelmed. Everybody needs to make another intelligence saving throw.
Adam.
Yeah.
If it is to resist the effects of possibly getting psychic backlash, doesn't that make it magic?
The backlash is not magic. The backlash is from Lulu's brain, which makes it psychic. This is the thing. Anything in Dungeons and Dragons, if you argue hard enough, becomes magic. This is neither a magical spell or an effect.
I let it go. It's just that there's damage involved.
Yeah, but like in the same sense, does you slapping someone in the face, is that magic? Because you're not real, you're magical, like Guanti or...
That's a terrible analogy.
No, because Lulu's mind is still Lulu's mind.
Well, I feel like the issue here is that we all consented to be a part of this spell. So if there was a magic resistance, it was overcome by your consent to enter the circle.
Also, I really want to see Saphra fail and see what she looks like in Happy Town.
And just in my mind, I feel like the resisting a magical spell effect would have happened when you voluntarily entered the circle.
It's fine. I concede.
Right.
But
no, I'm not trying to like
resist damage.
Yeah, I'm not trying to block you. I'm just saying, like, if we argue enough about this, everything in D&D is magical. So I got to put a line on it. It's a very powerful ability. So yeah, just make the save again. The DC is only 10. So this time everybody's fine. Okay. So after watching what happens to November, and for folks who are watching at home, I've made some slight changes to this, so it might be a little bit different from your version. So watching what happens to November prepares the rest of you to all focus together. You feel your minds kind of click into unity, and you manage to push back against Lulu's daydream. And so you're able to press on. And as you do, the scene fades. And in its place, I actually prepared a map because there is a tactical element to this bit. We see instead a new vista.
Ooh.
A flame-encircled battlefield appears on a barren hellscape. At the center of the circle, Lulu and the angel lie unconscious and prone, both horribly injured. You
Wait,
see
sorry,
yourselves.
the angel with the blindfold?
Yes,
It was Zariel?
sure was.
Oh.
A flame-encircled battlefield appears. At the center of the circle, Lulu and the angel lie unconscious and prone, horribly injured. You see yourselves standing in defense of Lulu and the angel, facing outward as 6 small, spine-covered devils creep closer. In the distance, a formation of battered and retreating human warriors disappears through a portal. The devils, hisses Maggie's disembodied voice. You must defeat them. And as a result, let's roll initiative.
Sick. I wonder if my name's going to be really extra long now.
Jesus Christ.
I get a 20.
How dare you?
I get a 20 and I'm going to yell real loud for them to go away.
I get a 22.
Okay.
Fastest way to defeat 6 devils, make them run for like 6 turns.
I mean, she said you have to defeat them, so turn unholy might not work in this case because
It's not kill, it's defeat.
they'll fly
if they're all the
away
way
and-
over there, it's fine.
I mean, they're temporarily disadvantaged rather than defeated, but yeah, keep that in mind that you may have to pursue them if you chase them off.
Oh, my name isn't really extra long on the turn order. Turn order.
Blue Jay, please.
I love a delicious apple turn order. So, all right, so let's get this thing started. November. It is your turn. You stand upon a hellish battleground surrounded by smoke and screams, and you can see purple-skinned devils creeping towards you, some on foot, some by wing. You stand inside a burning pentagram. What are you going to do?
I feel like... So these
I
little...
like how chat's first response was step on Lulu.
Step on her. So these clouds aren't like storm clouds. It's like steam, right?
Yeah, it's like fog to show you that like you are inside a vision, and then beyond that, like remember you're only seeing what Lulu knows. So the reason there is Superman 64 fog is that Lulu's never been there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. And they're all not close to each other anyway. I feel like I'm gonna conjure some creatures to try and help us have a few more actions.
All right, let me just go ahead and get my list.
Yep.
Right. They're beasts, right? You can summon beasts.
I can summon beasts, or I can summon woodland beings.
I
I feel like that would be interesting.
Woodland beings
because
is not a description of creatures that I can.
Fae
Okay.
creatures.
All right.
I think because we were just in like Mad Maggie's, that probably makes sense.
You summon a bunch
Oh.
of red caps.
Yeah, I
that
mean, I'll
come,
give you
like,
your options. What CR do you want and how many?
I think I'm gonna go 4.5 or lower.
One half. All right. So the 1/2 Fey creatures you can summon are
what's in there?
We don't even know.
Satyrs.
Satyrs?
Bunch of goat-legged guys show up and then they start having
Partying?
sex with each other. It's not very helpful. Okay, so satyrs, you can summon darklings. And I think those are the only 2 canon Fey that are of that level or lower.
Darklings are pretty cool.
Darklings are
What
cool.
are-
Darklings and satyrs. If you had access to the Tome of Beasts or like the Critter Compendium, we could summon whatever the hell a rum gremlin is. But for now, satyrs and darklings are your Fey options, and then for beasts of the same CR, you could get war ostriches,
God.
rot grubs, lots of swarms available to you at this level. Sea turtles, reef sharks, of course.
God, reef sharks.
Jaculi.
Cool. Good.
You summon some Jaculi, giant tortoises. Again, goats, crocodiles,
Reef sharks.
apes.
I'm looking at what darklings are because I have no idea what
They're
that
a
is.
Mordenkainen, I think, creature.
Yeah, they're Shadowfell. Fae.
Oh, I see. Darklings. Look at that. Those look sick.
They're cool.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
Because when I look up darklings, it's saying like they attack with daggers. They come with their
Yes,
own
yeah.
daggers?
They come
their own
with everything on the
daggers.
stat block. Yeah,
Cool. Okay.
that'd be
Fully
weird. You summon a bunch of darklings
fully
and they're just
equipped.
naked, and they're like,
I
"What
know,
the
right?
fuck?"
They're
You
just
couldn't
getting out of bed in the morning. They're wearing like the heart boxers. And,
Yeah, you couldn't have conjured me some lingerie or something, asshole.
Why am I so naked?
They're from Volos. Yeah. Do you want to do that? How many do you get?
4.
Okay.
I was just looking at what red caps are really high challenge rating.
Yes. No, you think? Remember how they kicked your ass?
Yeah, I
before?
remember how they kicked our ass. I was just checking
And you
because
get-
I thought that would be
You
interesting.
get 4 of these?
I get 4 fey creatures of
Okay.
challenge rating half. Yeah.
And then when they appear, they roll their own initiative.
They roll their own initiative.
Oh, that's great
they
that you
have
go
their
first
own
because that'll give them a
turns,
turn.
And
Okay.
they appear with 2 extra hit points per hit die.
Right. Okay. So they have 3 hit dice. So they're all at 19
Plus
hit.
6.
They're all at 19 hit points instead of their usual 13.
that token looks pretty great. The
Yeah.
Darkling token.
I like them a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, Volos came out after we had sort of passed the level cap for a lot of this stuff in Court of Swords, so it's fun to get to use them.
Yeah, I would say like 2 of them are like behind me, and then 2 of them would have been like in front.
Yeah, you want to sort of spread them out that way? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's about the best they can do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now, it's okay for them to exist outside the circle, whether you can leave the circle or not.
That's a question,
That's
of
a
course.
question. Yeah.
Is there anything else about my summoning? Right, their weapons are considered magical.
Okay.
And I think it's a regular summoning. They obey any verbal commands I issue to them, no action required. So I just say, I basically stick them on the closest of the spined devils.
Okay. And then I'll put a little smiley face on them so
They're
you know they're your
friends.
friends. Oh yeah, sorry, Bryn. I have to give you your permanent forever status indicator. Where'd it go? There it is.
I mean, I have 2. Come on.
That's right. We need to add several more. Okay, cool. So you conjure them up. Do they grow up out of the ground? Do they like hatch from eggs? What do we see?
I
Do they
think it's
fly
I
in
think
like
classically. I think that classically November's summons have been flavored as like, it's a creature that appears like covered in frost and then like shakes the frost off. Maybe in this instance, because there's
cool.
lots of like spiky growths out of the ground. There's like another, stalagmite that like pushes up out of the weird blackened earth, and it's like covered in ice, and it kind of like cracks and becomes these dark.
Like the Shiva
Fae.
summon in Final Fantasy VIII specifically.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Less like the Shiva summon from Final Fantasy 13, where the Darklings all ride in on a motorcycle. That's later.
mean, that would be pretty
It'd
sweet.
be pretty cool. Do you want to do anything else in November with a bonus action or?
I don't think I have any relevant bonus actions. No.
right.
Unless I could just like shillelagh. Yeah, I'll just shillelagh real quick
Okay. All right.
just to have that ready.
All right. You shillelagh.
I shillelagh.
Okay. Bryn, it is your turn.
Did you roll? Yeah, you did. Okay.
Yeah, I got a
So
7.
it's true. We have to defeat them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Bryn, here's what I'm thinking is Bryn may be smart enough to be like, them running away is not defeating them.
Yeah.
But she's not smart enough to think I can't leave this circle.
Okay.
So Bryn is probably going to be the one to step out to the nearest spine devil in order to smack it with her mace. She
Okay.
pulls it out ready to go. So she's gonna try and step to here.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing prevents you from leaving the circle.
Okay. Cool. And then she's gonna take another step up to the spiny devil, and she is going to smack it with her magical mace.
Okay. Let me just double check one thing real quick. Okay. Oh, here we go. So again, as you cross over, you definitely feel like a physical effect. You feel something like funny happen to you as you step outside, and I think you hear Maggie's voice warn you. That basically says like, don't stray too far or for too long. This is all an imagined memory of Lulu's. And as you can imagine, not entirely stable. And so you step out and you feel a little lightheaded, and like you can feel the sort of threat of being outside the circle, but you can do it for the time being.
Okay, cool.
So I will make a note This is your first turn outside of the circle. Okay.
Bryn's like, right, take care of them quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, yeah, go ahead and do what you gotta do. You're outside the circle now.
I hit it for 26.
Hell yes, that is twice its armor class.
Beautiful.
Nailed it.
And that is 7 points bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then second attack with the mace, 19
That's also a hit. Yep.
for another 5 points.
Hot damn. All right. So you stride forward, shield up, smash. And yeah, the spine devil shrieks in anger and gets bludgeoned. Yeah, there's a good question of like what happens when you summon something into a dream. Like, do the darklings show up and then immediately pass out, or do they never existed in the first place? Are they just illusory darklings? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this a dream where we're going to expend our spell slots?
Because
or
what
not?
you're summoning, like
Who
when you
knows?
summon, they're not actually real. Like you're not like
They're
summoning a
spirits.
creature from
Yeah.
somewhere else. You're like,
well, and that's the thing is, are you in a demiplane right now, or is this
Yeah.
an illusion, or it's not?
I mean, if
it's
there's not
clear.
rules, if there's not rules defining whether it is or it isn't, then
Yeah. So what I assume is you're in a place that is as real as the real world. So if you die here, you are also dead in the same way you expend your spell slots. But
I see. If you die in the game, you die in real life.
yeah. So yeah, when I say that, I don't mean your characters die if you die in Lulu's dream. I mean, if anybody ever dies instantly, just that's it. Your heart will stop. So be careful.
Disconnect.
oh no.
Okay. All right. So anything else, Bryn? You do your stride forward, make your 2 attacks, and then hold it there. That's it. Okay. All right. Miffles. Anything from Miffles?
Let's go Miffles. Help.
Let me find Miffles a cuter version of the flying token. There it is.
Oh yes.
Also,
Oh,
I gave
there's
them the
2.
little cat one because, I mean, obviously.
There's a flipped one. That looks like the one from Card Captor Sakura.
It really
I don't
does,
know
doesn't
why
it?
I know that. Yeah. I don't know who's going to attack next. Go down here to help me, maybe.
So go
Oh,
and
hold
harass
that
that
down.
one. So anyone
Yes,
attacking
please.
this next one has advantage.
Yes, please.
All right, let's
Can
use.
use the new advantage token.
Yeah. Well, so the trick with the advantage and disadvantage token is, do we apply it when it's you have advantage against them, or is it their next roll has advantage, right? Is it external or internal?
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'll put a little sword on them for now, meaning you get advantage if you attack them on the next one.
Sweet deal.
Okay. And they're just like a little too low to even be on the map. Okay. All right. So the devils, they are going to go. Oh, actually, that's a great point. We can use the cat token to indicate Miffles is harassing this person. That's perfect. Very nice. Thank you, Kaleidoscope. Okay. So yeah, good call on the summoning, because immediately these devils go to attack whatever is closest. So they're gonna swarm the summons
Mhm,
first, and then
mhm.
go from there. So there we go. That one is already on Bryn.
It's
and
a
then-
nice little human fae spirit buffer.
Yeah. Okay. So 3 of them fly over and attack that darkling there.
Darkling's gonna have a rough time. What's their AC?
If you polymorph one of these fae into like a small waterfowl, would that make it darkling duck?
Yes.
All right. So 2 attacks, one with the bite, one with the fork. So 6 attacks on this one. Armor
Mhm.
class is 14.
Okay.
So here we go. The bite is a crit for 11. This darkling's not going to last. And then a fork attack. I got a 6, which is a miss. A bite, which is a miss. And a fork, which is also a miss. Jesus Christ, devils, get your shit together.
They've got like +2 to hit.
Yeah, they sort of suck. A
Fuck.
9
go Darkling, go.
and a 7. Cool. So great. 6 attacks. And what,
Hell
one of them
yeah,
hit?
Darkly.
Tank
All right.
Darkling.
So over here,
Darkling tank.
yeah, right. A bite and a fork, a miss and a miss, and then a bite and a fork. There we go. Okay, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8 damage on the first attack. Another 2 on that one, still alive. And
Mhm.
then this one is going to attack Bryn.
Bring it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you thought I was having trouble with that nerd. Bite attack. Nope.
When you're just gonna get all
13 and a 5. Yeah, nothing there.
Yeah.
And then this one will attack Miffles. Let's try to send Miffles to the back to wherever they came from. What's Miffles' armor class?
12.
I got a 10. And then the fork for 17 for 6 piercing.
No.
All right, so Miffles disappears in an adorable puff of smoke and is temporarily removed from the scene. All right. Now the aid action is not it's not precluded by the person disappearing. So you still have Miffles advantage against this one. So yeah, with a stab of the fork, Miffles disappears, and then this guy is going to take flight so that the Darkling cannot reach it. So it's going to fly up into the air, and its movement is 40. So it is 40 feet up in the air.
I think the Darklings can throw their daggers.
Yeah, but then they don't have daggers. So, all right. Okay. So that's the Spine Devils. So, Sorovo, it is your turn.
No, Miffles.
Miffles has been banished back to the Miffles dimension.
Yeah, I get revenge. So, because Mind Spike, unfortunately, is kind of actually trash, unfortunately, I replaced it. And I spent the gold to get the little thingamabob. And I picked up chromatic orb because it is sick as hell. It's just so
It is pretty cool, yeah.
So I'll cast that at let's just wing it at 3rd level for fun.
Yeah, to help understand the Miffles situation, the great thing about Miffles is the only way to actually like harm Miffles is to go to the Miffles dimension, which is impossible to do because
you
you're
can't
not
access
Miffles.
it. Only Miffles can.
That's right.
It is
It's
a
the goddamn
pocket
Miffles dimension.
Yep.
Yep. Miffelheim. Oh my god. Well, Ex Machinas, take inspiration. Very nice. All right, throw that chromatic orb. Nice.
All right, we got a 21.
That is a hit.
I needed the advantage as well. Cast at 3rd level. Does it ask me for which damage type? It doesn't. Okay, I deal 29 points of probably not fire, probably not cold. Let's go for lightning damage.
Nice. All right. So does the chromatic orb, do you conjure it as lightning and then throw it, or do you throw it as a primordial ball and it like turns into lightning on its way there?
When you cast the spell, there's like a big circular array, like how most of Sorovo spells are cast.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the elemental glyphs for the different choices around. And as part of the spell casting, to turn it into a ball, you twist the thing and it spins.
Oh, cool.
Stops, and then you punch through it and it goes.
Nice, and
shoots
flies
out.
off. Awesome. So yeah, this ball of crackling
so
electricity.
anime.
It really is, yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
You got to hold the right bumper and then use the left thumbstick to figure out your elemental ability. And then when you let it go, it fires. Yeah. Like a quick time event. That's all spellcasting is. Yeah. And the lightning orb hits the Spine Devil, which bursts and turns into a bunch of tiny paper hearts, which drift to the floor and dissipate. Because remember, in Lulu's mind, violence isn't real. It's just for pretend. So you can't really kill anybody or anything. So, cool. All right. Anything else, Sorovo? You want to move or do anything else?
I'm going to move a little bit closer to our protectee requiring people to just kind of get in the way a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I shall take my action to step on Zariel's face.
That's right. I had a dream. I stepped on Zariel's face. It was rad.
It was awesome.
All right. So I presume that the Darklings are going to do their thing.
Yes, I would like them to attack. I would say that I probably yell to the one back here, like, work together, and like, go to help somebody and don't just be alone, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah. This one capers over here.
and that, right. Just attacking.
So let's do the top one first. So make a melee attack. Gets a 14 and hits.
Oh, if the Darkling has advantage.
That's right. If you give the
interesting.
Darkling advantage, they have sneak attack. So deals 7 damage to one of the devils. This one over here, Bryn, is going to come over and help you. And that one makes a melee attack as well. Gets a 17. And hits for 4. All right. And then over here, we got 2 attacks. One is a miss. And the others got also a miss. Got an 8. All the NPCs rolling bad right now. Sathra, would you like to show them how it's done?
I take a step forward and then I hit this upper spine devil. With
Blast that nerd.
With a greatsword. Hiya!
Yeah.
15 damage.
Okay. All right. You cleave into it, dealing it a stunning 15 damage.
And then I hit it again. Theoretically.
Yeah, finish that thing off. Yep, you hit.
For another 14 damage.
Now it's dead. Yep. The second swing cleaves it from the air, turning it into a burst of trumpet sounds and sparkles.
And then I use the rest of my movement to step back into the circle.
Nice. Okay. Cool. November, we're back around the top. Your turn.
Oh my God, it's my turn. Okay, so the summons are doing work. I saw Bryn move out of the circle, but I didn't really was there any kind of...
If you look at Bryn's got that kind of like Frodo in the wearing the ring situation where her silhouette is kind of extended and like wispy. She's not quite as like real as she was when she was inside the circle.
Right. I think... Let's see.
Exists but the circle.
Because Sathra's over here and there's 2 Darklings. So I think I'm going to move over to like inside the circle, but near Bryn. Okay. And just be like, come back. And probably toss out a frost. Which one of these gives disadvantage? Disadvantage, this one. Okay. Frostbite on this spine devil.
Okay.
A DC 15 Constitution save.
Okay. Con save. All right, with advantage.
With advantage.
Yeah, they have advantage. I get a 21.
Oh, okay.
21 on the saving throw.
Didn't know that, so that was a waste.
Yeah.
I think that's probably all I'm gonna do. Just try and be like, hey, don't be outside. You look weird.
You look weird. Well, all right, Bryn, it's your turn. You look weird.
Bryn registers the concern is like, I'll be all right. I'll be back quickly, but first, smack it with my mace.
Yeah.
And she says that out loud too, because she's a weirdo.
Perfect. Yeah.
16?
That's a hit. Yep.
The bonk for 10 damage.
It is dead. You bonk it into submission.
So I'm pretty sure that I can't move and then use my second attack, because it's the extra attack action means that I just get to make 2 attacks for 1
Not
action.
true.
No, you can.
can?
Yes.
I can.
Yeah, you can.
Oh,
You are
okay.
allowed. Yep.
All right. Sweet. Then Bryn will see this poor Darkling on its own, but she heard the whole come back. So she walks slightly awkwardly. Let's see if I can do it. She's like, oh, okay, well, I'll come back for a second.
Skim the surface and then go back out.
Yeah, so 10, 15. Yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, I'm coming back. I'm fine. Because I think she's like, no, November. It's really, I'm okay. And then she just runs out the other side.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And then she'll make her out. She's like, I'm fine. All
right. Take that second swing. This one's already injured.
Smacks the second swing at the one that is injured, which is perfect. Hopefully. Oh, no, I get a 10.
There you go. Okay. So you miss on that second swing.
I whiff it on the last one.
All right. You have been outside the circle for 2 turns. Okay. Spine Devils. Let's see if I can actually make some hits this time. So there are 2 devils up here and 2 down here. So let's start there. Bryn, because I'm most likely to fail these. Here we go. A bite. I got a 20. Is that enough?
That's a hit.
Hey, 4 slashing damage. And then fork. I got a 10. Okay.
That misses.
And then this one, the Darkling, is going to get attacked. So a bite, which is a miss, and a fork. And these guys suck so bad. Miss, 2 misses.
I feel like they rocked our shit like a few levels ago.
Yeah, like they showed up way late to the party
before.
Yeah, this is one of those encounters where you're like, all right, well, unless they roll like some kind of insanely high crit, there's really
They've all
nothing.
flown in, but if memory serves, they're better at ranged attacks.
So the combination of you have to fight a bunch of things that I thought about that, where I was like, they should just stay outside and fling spikes at you till you're dead, but you're not allowed to leave the circle. So I don't know. All right, so let's see. Bite, fork, 2 more misses. Oh no, the bite
Sorry,
hit.
you say we're not allowed to leave the circle, but Bryn did exactly that.
But it's
Yeah,
not
it's gonna get bad.
good for Bryn.
Right.
It's
It's gonna
bad.
explode.
Okay, so one of these Darklings is destroyed.
Oh no, goodbye.
Turns into a series of Darkling shaped ice cubes and then crumble apart. And then this one gets attacked twice. So bite and fork. The fork hits for 4. All right.
Do summon Darklings still get Darkling power?
They do, yes. Yeah, that's right. So that one death flashes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
it's
what's
like
that?
A death effect. I'm pretty
So
sure.
any creature within 10 feet of it needs to make a DC 10 con save,
Ooh, fun.
which includes
Me too.
Sathra, but you do
Yeah.
have advantage against this, I think. 'cause
That's
it is-
awesome though. I like it. What does it
Or do you?
Explodey boys.
I think I do.
No, you don't. Non-magical light.
Okay.
So you don't. It's just a flash of light.
Oh, it's the killing light.
Okay, so both of them and the other Darkling?
I think
Any
Mhm.
creature. Yeah.
Yes.
any
Yeah.
creature,
Any creature.
yeah.
Yep.
DC 10 con save.
Oh, they just need to cascading fail and just like
Okay, so that one
It
made
just-
that one
it
made
doesn't
it.
say it doesn't say damage. It
Yeah,
does
it's just a
It's not
block.
damage, it's just blindness. Yeah. So just let me make 2 more con saves. So top and bottom, fail and fail. Okay. So that worked out just about as well as you could hope. The Darkling is fine. The 2 Spine Devils are blinded. So let's find it cool.
An elf is also fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oop. Okay. All right. So Srovo, your turn.
Right, sweet deal. Now that I can target 2 at the same time, do I want to burn a second, 3rd level spell slot? Kinda no, actually. Sorry, I had a plan and then I just decided that I don't want to do that plan anymore.
What I love about that blindness is that it gives the Darklings advantage to then stab you harder. Technically.
Makes sense.
The Darklings also have blind sight. So even if they are blinded by the flash, they can still see within 30 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'm going to toll the dead on the damaged devil that.
Yeah. The one Bryn's fighting.
Bryn's fighting. Yeah.
Okay.
Ding dong, ding dong.
And what kind of save is it? Wisdom?
It's a wisdom saving
Okay.
throw.
So they have advantage. I got a 16.
That's my DC, so I don't need to click it.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Sosrobo?
Nope.
You're pretty much right where you need to be, right?
Yep.
All right. So there is 1, 2, 3 Darklings remaining. Let's have this one scamper over to help.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Does Zariel count as a humanoid creature currently?
No, she's not real.
No, you can't have her soul.
Well, no, but remember, she's not even real. Like, Zariel's not actually.
I know. I
Here
just
in any
want to
meaningful way.
summon a specter, and there's nothing.
Yep. Next time you see a human, just cut their head off as soon
I'm
as you see
going
them.
to.
Yeah,
I
do
hope
it.
you know this.
I believe you. Okay. All right. So that Darkling moves and then gets to make an attack. Gets a 25, so crits, and rolls 8 piercing damage. Here we go. And then the other Darkling attacks the same target, making a melee attack. I click that. There it is. Getting a 10 and missing. And then the other one down here has advantage against this blinded guy, and gets a 15, which is a hit, and deals 4 plus another 2d6.
It
total-
rolls it in the thing.
What's that?
It rolls it in the attack roll. There's an extra 7 brackets to use 6.
Where?
I think it says
No,
that
no, it doesn't.
7
That's the
is just
average.
the like average.
Yeah, the extra 7 is the average. Yeah, you have to. It rolls a
Sorry.
d4 plus 3 and then another
Yeah.
2d6. Yeah, it's okay. So 13 damage on this one, which injures but does not kill it. Okay, cool. Sathra,
I'm so proud.
it's your turn.
Well, let's see if I can finish the job. Step forward. Great sword.
Mhm.
Swoosh. Oh, I missed. Okay, and swoosh a second time.
That's a better swoosh.
And 15 damage.
All right. Actually, all right. You hit the first time.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
blind.
yeah, disadvantage. You're right.
He's blind, so you have advantage to hit him.
You're right. 15 or 16.
Okay,
Right,
well, so
pick one.
let's do it this way. The 15 is your first swing. That
Yeah.
kills it.
Okay.
Now you can make your second attack
Now I
if you
can
want to
go
move
again.
and attack.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to move in to this guy and hit him.
Yeah, because technically he's gone. He doesn't. There's no corpse.
Nope, dust.
Yeah, these ones too. There's no corpse there. Okay, so now you take your
there's,
second swing.
There's my second one.
Yeah, and that's a hit.
And that's 10 damage.
Okay.
And then I don't want to suffer the effects of weird wavy.
Yeah, you're not that
staying
far. You have
outside
enough
the
move
deal.
left.
So I'm just gonna step back into the circle.
And
'cause
there's
that guy's
no-
blind.
No attack
So
of
I'm-
opportunity, so you're free. Okay. Nice work. Okay, November.
So Bryn's not listening to me. So I feel like the best bet is to try and kill the thing she's trying to kill, so she'll get back
Bryn
here.
protect.
Mhm.
Yeah, Bryn Protect indeed.
Sorry, that was a really loud noise, and I didn't expect it to be that loud. I don't
Wouldn't be an
think...
episode without Blue Jay doing something weird.
I don't actually think I have a hell of a lot of like distance things that aren't like moonbeam and ice knife that are gonna touch everybody. But Bryn's tough and the darklings aren't real, so I'm gonna ice knife anyway.
Bryn's tough. The Darklings aren't real.
Yeah, so I throw a dagger made of icicle at probably
Cute
at
Bryn
this
dying
one.
to ice knife.
That's right. You die in
At
the
this
dream.
one in the upper corner.
That one?
Yeah, because the other one's weaker. So
Bonk.
you might
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to ice knife that one
small.
exactly.
I'm gonna ice
real
knife
small.
that one. So
Okay.
ice knife, get a 20.
You definitely hit. So you ice knife is a ice knife and chromatic orb are both Baldur's Gate spells, right? Elf.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I always
Chromatic Orb definitely is, and Ice Knife definitely is.
I have very specific ideas of what they look like because of those
Yeah.
games.
Okay, so the target takes 1d10 piercing damage. So
Okay.
that guy takes 10
Oh,
piercing
nice
damage.
roll.
And the shard then explodes. The target and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage.
All right. So the one you hit
Ah.
gets a
So
21.
both the darklings can get +3.
the one
on the
next to
dex
it gets a 10. No, a 12. And then
Sorry, Bryn. Not sorry.
the
Dex is
dark
not great.
the Darklings.
Slightly better than
Dex is their best save, so you're good on that one. So left Darkling gets a
Dex is
8.
their best save. 5.
it gets a 5, so an 8 and a 15. All
so
right,
the 15 doesn't take any cold damage.
that's
but,
this one.
The other ones take a 7.
Okay, so one takes 7. You kill the injured spine devil. Nice work. And then this one takes. That one succeeded, so it doesn't take any damage, right?
Correct. No damage at all.
Awesome. Bryn, did you make or fail that save?
Oh, I
Failed.
definitely
You
failed.
failed it.
Okay.
It takes the main damage and then no splashy.
I'm like, basically this is my like, I told you to come back.
You get mildly splashed. Okay.
Get the heck back in the circle,
Yeah.
nerd.
So do you have anything else, November, you want to do?
I don't think so. No. Yeah, no. I just still direct the darklings to, group up, attack, etc.
Okay.
I've just realized that Bryn is like an assault Brigitte from Overwatch. He's not playing on the objective, just going out and shield bashing people and looking what they're
I'm
not.
on the objective.
Get in the circle.
All right. Speaking of
Yeah,
whom,
and you benefit by being near her. Yeah, she's got a
Bryn,
little Brigitte going on.
you can see that you were beginning to Marty McFly out here.
Oh, she can actually. She's
Now
like,
you were starting to like, yeah, as you swing, you're like, huh, is my mace less corporeal than it was before?
all right, I'll come back, but let me just smack this one with my mace.
Okay.
So I will hit with my mace, the one that is still alive.
All right. Yep, you hit it.
26 for 6 bludgeoning.
All right. Smack.
Second attack is another 17, so it's a hit
Yep.
for 7 damage.
Toast.
And then
Gone and done.
I did good. I
You
did
did-
good.
you
Look, they're
did.
dead. And she comes back into the circle, and
All right.
then she like gently steps over Zariel and gets up next to Sathra.
Ooh. All right. At the end of your turn, your 2 stacks of standing outside the pentagram fade. So you're good. You feel yourself reincorporate.
Corporeal again.
You know
That's
it's a good magic spell when you have to stand inside the pentagram, not the like ritual circle
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Now I gotta say, like, you know, I did construct this map myself, and I feel like when I had to choose a magic circle from my many options,
Yeah.
this was the appropriate
Yeah,
choice.
upside down pentagram. Really
Yeah,
good.
so technically this is I have inverted this pentagram myself. It was point side up, and I was like, that's not gonna do. We can't allow that. All right. Anything else, Bryn? Are you good? All right. The remaining spine devil, like a moron, just flies around in circles because can't see a target anywhere and is not adjacent to anyone. So it ends up 40 feet in the air, kind of over here somewhere. And at the end of its turn, it is no longer unable to see and gets its bearing. Okay. All right. So, Sorovo, you want to finish this thing off?
Yeah, is it taking damage?
Yes, it has.
Right. Let's just magic missiles it in the face. It's cost at math says I didn't pay attention to how much damage it took. Let's just do the 3rd level, whatever. Magic missiles.
Right.
Pew 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 pew.
So many. Okay. So 4 on the first hit,
17.
2 on the second hit, 4 on the third hit. Yeah, the last missile kills it.
Oh, look at that. Giant worked out.
Dissipates. Excellent. All right. So, because a bunch of people were asking before we move on to the next part of the ritual, the smoke. So this isn't a map that's part of the module. I built it myself using stuff from the marketplace. So the pentagram is an item from the marketplace. This spiky map is also in the marketplace. And then these clouds around it, it's a spell effect cloud, actually. So normally it's only meant to be 4x4, but I expanded it out, copied it 4 times, and put it around the edge of the map. So it's actually several overlapping clouds of fog. Yeah, I threw this together in about like 3 minutes before the show. All right, so you've dispatched the devils. So the next part of the ritual begins. The landscape fills with thick black smoke. So that burning kind of miasma closes in around you, and everything becomes this landscape of thick black smoke, and the smell of death and decay expands to encompass everything. The small devils from the previous dream. So you see, let me roll to see how many of them return. 5 of them. Nice. Okay. So there are 5 of them, but they appear before you, and they are kneeling as if to like ask for or beg for your mercy. So you see them, they're just in a line, and they just like put their heads down and hold their spikes up. What do you do?
Decapitate them.
Yeah, you want to just come up and just start hacking away at them? Okay. All right. Yeah.
I feel like
No.
Sathra reacts first, and Bryn's like,
Yeah, I mean,
No, that's
Sa-
totally legit of Sather to do, though. Like,
They're
I'm
all
not saying she
kneeling.
can't do
They're
it.
all kneeling
Yeah,
for their execution.
No,
that's
it's totally
right.
fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, you come up, and it's just like a single swing. You just like, and they turn to smoke. They dissipate as you drag your sword through them.
That sweet sword hissing sound.
Yeah. One big arc, I think, and probably the arc, because it's a weird dark dream, it leaves a big crescent moon in the air that fades after the swing.
Oh, anime is fuck.
Yeah, so
I was gonna hope like you just do the like, and then
they dissipate.
I'll follow.
Yeah, they all dissipate, and then, if you want to go full anime, it's a diagonal
favorite
line, and
TikTok
then they all
meme right
separate and then flow apart. So now, I think you sense movement before you physically start to like feel it. So what happens, and actually I'll just leave us on Lulu's stream. So what happens is you feel yourself moving forward through the darkness, even though there's nothing to see. Lulu seems to have vanished. You are just trudging forward. And then you notice like, oh, my legs are moving. Oh, there's ground below me. Oh, there's a sky. And all of these things come in. They sort of pop into your mind in a random order until you realize you are wandering a vast, barren landscape of utter devastation. Black sludge rises rapidly out of the ground, enveloping your feet and gripping you tightly, overwhelming you with a horrible sense of loss. You hear Maggie shout from outside the dream, "Don't let the sludge consume you! Push through her defenses! She must look!"
Is this Death Stranding? I'm fairly sure this is Death Stranding.
So here's how you can tell how old someone is. One of two references. It's either Death Stranding or The Never-Ending Story.
That's what I was gonna say.
You see a very sad horse and some shitty kid.
Oh no, not the sad horse.
Yep. So
I haven't
roll
seen
initiative,
either of those two
please.
pieces of
Everybody
media.
roll initiative.
Initiative? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I'm swings and roundabouts today.
That was a very English thing to say. Right. So in the tar, yeah, you see a
Sometimes
dying
I have
horse.
Very English phrases.
It really is. You see a dying horse. You see Mads Mikkelsen. I think you see Tasha Yar. I think is
Yeah.
she's in there.
Is it-
Yep.
I think
Was
the
it
sorrow
Tasha?
from
Oh, you
Metal Gear Solid
see
3 's there.
what's his name? Krasinski, the guy from like the later seasons of X-Files, that alien dude with the black sludge.
What's really terrible is you say black sludge, and my brain immediately goes to Fern Gully as well.
Mhm.
The,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking
Mhm.
very Fern Gully.
Perfect. All right. So in order then, November.
Yep.
You must use your action to try to get free of the sludge. You can use athletics or acrobatics. Cry check. That was the fucking guy's name. Sorry, go ahead.
Either one is the same for me.
Okay.
So I guess I'll try and use acrobatics. Am I close to Bryn?
Unfortunately,
Mm,
unless it's a saving throw.
yeah.
Oh,
It's just for
okay.
saves.
Okay. Fingers crossed, y'all. I get a 19.
Nice. Okay. So you managed to pull yourself free of the sludge. You can tell me what it looks like, right? You can kind of conjure images from the wasteland. But how does November use acrobatics to get free of the embrace by the muck?
I feel like what happens if she has like her clothes and her quarterstaff is like she pushes her quarterstaff into the mud and then like vaults herself out of it.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So as your body pops free of the sludge, because this is Lulu, as soon as you do, a pair of celestial wings spring from your back, tiny golden feathers dripping from the edges of them. A halo appears over your head, and suddenly your arms are full of a golden harp. You realize you are wearing a white tunic and are floating slowly up into the air.
Can
You feel an
someone draw this
intense
for me?
you feel an intense urge to play the harp as you float up into the darkness.
I do it. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, Sathra, it is your turn.
Someone please draw it for me.
So is there an intended method to escape the sludge, or is it just like, what do I do to escape
It's
the sludge?
you have to pick athletics or acrobatics. Yeah.
Oh, it's one of the two?
No
It
Misty
says
Step.
it's
I was like, this
specifically
is I was like, this is a dream? I can't intimidate the sludge into backing the hell up? Like, come on. Ugh.
Teleport.
I have many things to say about that, but I'm gonna keep them to myself. Strength athletics or dex acrobatics, either one.
Okay, I guess we're gonna do acrobatics because it's cool. 20.
Nice. Okay. So you, what does it look like? How do you escape from the sludge?
I think it's just like in the same way that it's difficult to hold on to a reptile. Sathra is just very slow. Like Very slippery.
Yeah, so as it tries to close in around you, you just pop free.
Just, like, quickly pop out the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So as you emerge from the thing, in the same way you undergo a transformation, but for you turn bright red, and you have two big horns sticking out of your forehead, and you have an electric guitar and bat wings. So you rise up out of the sludge, playing your electric guitar.
Hell yes.
So Sorovo, it is your turn.
I'm a wizard. Let me use magic.
No magic for you.
I only had a +2. I got real lucky.
Yeah. So far, everybody's rolls have been.
I'm gonna be the one that fails this. The one with the highest check is gonna be the one that fails.
Yeah, I've got a +2 on acrobatics as well. Let's see what happens. Woo!
Okay. All right. You are unable to escape. You remain trapped in the muck. Probably you start to climb free, and a tendril wraps around its arm and pulls you back into the sludge. So Sorovo, this was the first failure for you to escape?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, of course it is, because it's your first roll. All right. So Sorovo, 1. Okay. All right. Bryn, your turn.
Can I use my action to get Sorovo out instead of myself?
You can use your action to take the help action to, yes, help Sorovo, which will give advantage on their next turn. But you will forego your own. Yeah?
Because it's Bryn. She sees what's going on. She's like, I got you. And she like wades through the mud.
Yeah, so all it is that Bryn just holds her breath and stands on the bottom, and then Sorovo stands on her shoulders like, I can breathe, no problem. Okay, so yeah, you move through the sludge, pulling aside the tendrils of this ropey molasses goo as you get closer and closer to Sorovo, and then grab them and start to give them a boost.
Yeah.
Okay, so November, you are now hovering above the sludge field. You may, if you like, do the same as Bryn and offer an angelic hand down to help Sorovo or Bryn up. Sorovo's already got advantage on the next check, so there's no point in helping Sorovo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then in which case, like, I see that in assisting Sorovo, Bryn has like pushed herself further deep down in the muck, and I'll reach down a hand to help her.
Okay. Cool. I'll take it when I'm done with Sorovo. I feel like Bryn's like, yes, help Sorovo. It's just
okay.
So annoying right now.
So this is great. Sathra, it's your turn. Everybody's already got help, so even if you want to help, you can't.
Fuck it!
Strums the guitar.
Yeah. Awesome.
My evil ass is out.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
That is evil. All right. So Sorovo, you now have assistance. You have Bryn boosting you
Power
up.
of friendship.
That's right. So you have advantage. Hey, there you go. All right. So Sorovo, you are pulled free by Bryn helping you up.
Bryn's just like,
yeah.
Throw me in the air. Little basketball.
Exactly. Yeah. So you are lifted up out of the muck, and instead of getting your own halo and angel wings, we see an angelic version of Miffles descend, and you can see the little strings holding Miffles up, and the like fake and so these little strings come down, and it's literally just like a cat someone has put some wings on and is hanging by its arms from like a harness, and it drops down, and Miffles like bites the back of your neck and then lifts you up, and it's just like
you're like dangling by the scruff, but you're alive.
Excellent. All right. So Bryn, you are last in the order here. Do you wanna try and get free? You have advantage.
I do, and I have advantage from November's very kind help. Thank you, November. As Bryn takes your hand and 20.
Yeah, nice. All right. So you pull yourself up with November's help and emerge from the muck, and as you do, the world again falls away, all the muck dripping kind of off of the screen, dripping away, the landscape disappearing and being replaced by that same inky void we saw at the outset, and within it we see a black cushion, Lulu resting on top of it. Lulu is now unconscious and alone, a beam of brilliant white light shining down upon her. Next to Lulu, a gleaming brass spyglass rests atop an ornately carved tripod. And as you watch, Lulu awakens, looks peacefully around her, yawns, stretches her little trunk, like, "Ah." And then seeing the spyglass, flaps her wings a few times, presses one eye against the eyepiece, and then steps back suddenly, floats back away from it. Eyes wide, mouth open, her face alight with excitement, and she cries out, the sword! The sword, I know where it is! And as Lulu awakens, having had her revelation, all of you are freed from her dream and returned to Maggie's workshop.
Oof.
So all of the background fades away, and we fade back in on the workshop, and Lulu is now awake and just babbling joyously about how excited that she is. She's like, I found it. And she keeps saying, I found it, and we have to go check it out. And I think before we find out anything else that she's learned or what Maggie has found out, I think this is a good place to take a break. And when we come back, we can figure all that out, and then y'all can get your sweet, sweet rewards for helping Maggie out.
I love rewards.
Yes, they're very good. Cool. All right. Stick around. We will be right back.